There's just something about them. Long-haired guinea pigs are undeniably beautiful, and us guinea pig owners tend to be immediately drawn to them, which over time has resulted in several long-haired breeds in all different coat colours and textures, from the fuzzy Swiss piggy to the curly texels and merinos to the silky smooth peruvians, shelties and coronets. And then there's some newer breeds becoming more and more popular, such as the lunkarya, alpaca, mini plea and the Shiba mini yak. What many owners who buy or adopt a long-haired piggy on a whim might not realise is how essential it is to maintain their luscious locks and keep our guinea pigs happy and healthy. Guinea pigs weren't designed to have hair like this. It is a result of breeding, and naturally guinea pigs aren't the most clean and tidy of creatures. They poo and pee a hell of a lot for a start, and long-haired breeds also have very long hair around their bottom area, and it's this area in particular that if it's not managed and kept on top of, it will get dirty, matted and tangled. Guinea pigs do groom themselves, but they've adapted to live with short hair like their wild ancestors, so their version of grooming does basically nothing when the hair is 4, 5 or even 10 times longer than it's meant to be. For example, the hair of the Peruvian breed is supposedly the longest, reaching a massive 20 inches or 50 centimeters if left to grow that long. And when we see pictures of Peruvians and other long-haired breeds being shown and winning prizes for their luscious locks, what we don't see is how those guinea pigs have to live with it all wrapped up and clipped up in bunches so it doesn't get dirty. As normal guinea pig owners, this would be a lot of work on our part, and I don't think it's a particularly comfortable way for the guinea pigs to live either. But that doesn't mean that we can't still enjoy their longer hair with a more manageable way of keeping on top of it. So how can we easily groom our long-haired piggies? Well, people often assume that they need baths on a frequent basis, that they need grooming every day. But after owning long-haired guinea pigs myself for many years, I found an easier way of looking after them. Most importantly is to keep the hair short around their bottom. And I mean short, like as short as a short-haired piggy's short. This should be done every 3 to 4 weeks because the hair grows very fast. Here we have the lovely Nacho, and Nacho is a lunkarya piggy. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a bottom trim and show you exactly how I do it. I'll actually be using these scissors. Now you can use pet-safe clippers as well. However, I'm gonna show you with scissors because these are probably what you have available if you've not done this before, and also because I'm well practiced with scissors, and I have heard that some piggies are very nervous of the sound that clippers make, and it can also be difficult to access some of the bits like around the legs that you'll see me doing with these scissors. Yes, what are these? I know, we don't like them, do we? Okay, so my first tip for cutting their hair is to take them away from the room where the other guinea pigs are, in a relatively unfamiliar room, so that they are not hearing the sounds of the other piggies and they're not eager to get back. I should have also said, have a rubbish bag ready for the hair because there's going to be a lot of it. We are going to start off with sort of what I can get to easily, just around his bottom here. I'm going to not pull on the hair that I'm cutting at all. I'm going to try and touch it as little as possible, and I'm just using my hand above where I'm cutting to sort of secure him and stop him from moving too much. You probably will find that they don't like it, which is very, very normal, and it does take a bit of practice. But the key thing is really trying to not pull on their hair. A good technique is to kind of hold them up like this if they're not struggling too much. Or you can also kind of nestle them in the crook of your arm. I find that this makes it easier to do one side more than it does the other. So some ways that you might want to try to make it a little bit easier for you is getting someone else to help you, maybe by holding them. Or you can also bribe them with some treats and keep them distracted that way. If you can get these bits in right next to the inner legs, those are the bits that will get matted first, and you might find they look a bit damp. Really, I'm feeling with the scissors and maybe with my hands just before I cut to make sure that I'm happy that I can get enough hair with the scissors. If you start trying to pull on the hair at all and kind of manhandle it with one hand while you cut with the other, chances are they will just squirm more and more. This is the kind of method that I've found to work best. Sometimes you can sort of put your finger around the leg and encourage the hair up a bit, and then you can trim it off from there. There we got a long bit there that's been getting wet. Good boy. So it's not that easy, it does take practice, but it is 100% worth it. So don't be afraid to take quite a bit off, you know, it's this like around their legs here and around their bottom when we get further down. I would also recommend taking off some of the length on their sides and on top as well, especially if it's hot weather where you are at the minute, because imagine they're just wearing a big heavy coat all the time. It can't be comfortable when it's hot out. If you are able to distract them, this is another technique you can try, and it works well in the beginning as well for the sort of upper parts of the hair, and that is to distract them with vegetables or have someone else stroke them, and then you just go in sneakily with the scissors and do your thing. I'm going to try something that might help. I don't know whether it's going to work with him. Let's go for piano. Okay, we are done with Nacho's bottom trim and actually on top and down his sides as well. I'm hoping you can really see how short we've taken his hair. I'm sorry, buddy, I know this is rather undignified. So it is, as like I said, as short as a short-haired piggy down there, and that's the way it really needs to be to prevent it getting too tangled and uncomfortable for him. He'll be cooler as well, even though it's not that obvious how much we've taken off. This is about half of it that we've taken off just from around his bottom, which just shows they have a lot of hair down there and it really does need to be kept nice and short. Now the second, less important part of grooming our long-haired guinea pigs is brushing them, and you might hear that they should be combed or brushed on a regular basis. However, as long as you keep the hair very short around their bottom, you won't find day to day that the hair on top and down their sides gets massively tangled. Also, they generally don't like it, so I don't think it's necessary to do it that often, and I'd go as far as to say it's okay to do this once a week or even less, depending on the hair that your guinea pig has, how easy it gets into tangles, and whether they like being brushed or not. As you're about to see, Nacho absolutely hates being brushed. And the very first time I tried to brush him, I used my normal little pet brush that I've used for long-haired guinea pigs in the past. However, he wasn't having any of it, and he just simply hates having his hair pulled. So instead of the standard little pet brush, I went out and I got him one of these, which is a really wide toothed comb, and I found that he put up with this better, and it does a good enough job at combing his hair through so that I'm happy it doesn't have any big tangles in it. As Nacho's hair is curly as well, we don't really want to go brushing it all the time, otherwise we'll brush all of those lovely curls out. So as you can see, he's still not overly happy with the comb, but I'll give it as good a go as possible. And the key thing really is, if they hate it, just try and be as gentle as possible and do all you can to prevent the hair pulling. So this might involve holding the hair higher up while you comb it through, and the other tips for trimming can also work here, like if you have someone else to help you and hold the piggy, if you take them away from a room that they know into somewhere they don't. You could try and distract them with food, which might work in a lot of cases, and you can also try with the music as well. So as I've just trimmed Nacho's hair quite a bit shorter than it was, and I know that it's all fine around his back and his bottom and his sides and his legs, I'm just going to focus on lightly combing the hair on his back and maybe a little bit down his sides. But if I feel that it's not too tangled and he's had enough of me stressing him out, then I'm not going to go too crazy with this. There you go, buddy. He's alright. Apart from everyone stealing his lettuce, he's okay. The third thing that people often wonder about when it comes to grooming their long-haired piggies is whether they need baths and how often that might be. Well, if you keep up to trimming the hair very short around their bottom and their legs, you'll find that they shouldn't need baths any more often than their short-haired companions. And it depends on the guinea pigs too. Some guinea pigs just never need a bath. They keep themselves perfectly clean, whilst others might need a bath once or even twice a year, but it's very rare for them to need a bath more often than that, unless they've got some kind of health problem like parasites or a fungal problem with their skin, and bathing is part of their treatment. Also, if you have neglected to look after your long-haired piggy's hair, then they might need a bath at the very beginning, because if they're very matted and tangled back there, it can kind of form solid masses and the water can help loosen it so you can cut it away and really start from scratch and get on a good routine with looking after their hair. Also, a full bath is rarely required. People might talk about bathing their guinea pigs, but what they really mean is more of a bum bath, just to clean away any dirt around their bottom. You look so smart, don't you? Okay, so Nacho is looking very nice after his trim and his little comb, and we have been quite thorough with him today as well. So it's probably gonna last him a good month at least, if not 6 weeks. So I hope you found this video useful for looking after your own long-haired piggies. Do let me know down in the comments below whether you've got long-haired breeds of guinea pigs and whether you have picked up any useful tips during this video. But other than that, that is all for today, and we will see you very soon. I would wave, but kind of. Buddy. Oh, you just laid down now? Okay. Okay, bye then.